Hi, and welcome back to It's Not Rocket Science, 5 questions over coffee. I'm delighted to have a returning guest this afternoon, Alfred Poor. Alfred is a health tech expert, a keynote speaker. He has so many talents, it's going to be impossible to list them all today. So what we're going to do is we're just going to allow him to explain his health beat and his 75% solution, which is the solution he has got for those people who are currently having to adapt to the video meeting world, and how you can make best use of your technology to improve your presentation capabilities. So, Alfred, welcome back to It's Not Rocket Science, 5 questions over coffee.
Well, cheers to you. I'm so glad to be back.
Yeah, I've got water in front of me at the moment because I probably have more than enough coffee, having been.
There's water in here, but you can't tell.
Excellent, Alfred. I mean, I introduced you there with the 75% solution. Who is the solution aimed at? Who are you trying to help with this solution?
So the key to that question, answer to that question, is in the name. The 75% solution actually comes from a report by the Gartner group. They came out with a report that predicted that for this year, 75% of all business meetings are going to be held online. That's internal and external. That's talking to investors, potential partners, customers, staff, teams, management, whatever. And my whole point is that the pandemic gave us video meetings as a target of opportunity. It was easy to do, they're convenient, and they don't take a lot of technical skill. You just open up your laptop and have at it. My problem is that people aren't being intentional about how they present themselves in those settings. And if you're going to be spending 75% of your meetings online, why wouldn't you want to make the most of that time? That's a huge investment of your time and money for your company. Why wouldn't you want to maximize the benefit?
Brilliant question. And I look at so many people who are currently taking those, and I spoke to one executive who, being female, had gone out and equipped herself with an entirely new wardrobe in order to make sure that she was presenting her best self on video, something which I had never considered myself. So, what do you find are the people that are making those mistakes, who don't try to maximize their best time and their best view when it comes to video meetings?
For me, the key word is intention.
Yeah.
I don't think they're doing it intentionally. And that's the whole point. They're not intentional about the impression they make.
No, it's the laptop.
The way I like to put it is, we've all met CEOs and executives and founders who you bring them into a boardroom for a presentation and they're just amazing. You put them up on stage and they just kill it, just audiences in their hand. You put them on a Zoom call and it looks like they've joined witness protection. They're just, I don't think that they stop and think about whether or not what's coming through actually represents their brand, their company, their professional and personal image. And it's so easy to do it better. And I would argue that when you do it better, people notice.
Yeah. So it's that laptop on the desk with the view sort of strangely up the face, isn't it? It's the poor light. Yeah, that one.
This one, I mean, I've yet to find anybody where the up the nose, looking at the ceiling camera angle is flattering. When you look like this, it's more engaging. It's people be able to pay more attention to you and be making contact with him. Eye contact. There's a whole lot of pieces that go into it, but basically you need to get your camera up so it's about eye level. You need to look at the camera, and you need to show more. You don't want to just be this disembodied head, because then you don't get the hand motions, you don't get the body language. There's a whole lot missing in your communication, which we count on.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's another great tip that you just sort of gave us there with the whole camera, isn't it? Because I'm now currently looking at you. The camera is actually above my screen. I have to consciously shift my gaze to a camera and not stare at the screen, because otherwise it looks as if I'm looking down, and it's a ridiculous. It just doesn't look right, does it? But
Well, if you were in a conversation with somebody at an event or a meeting or whatever, and they were looking down like that and not at you, what would you think?
Yeah.
What are they, withdrawn, or total paralyzed by introversion? I mean, what's going on with them? Why aren't they looking at me? Now, if you want a quick, almost no cost tip to solve that, go to your local store, gift shop or whatever, and get a pair of those little googly eyes that you can stick onto anything, and just stick them up next to your camera, and it'll give you eyes to look at, and it'll make it much easier for you to focus on the camera.
It's a great tip. I love it. Now, I know that you've got a valuable free offer for it. And I'm going to just display this on the screen now. Tell us, what's on your valuable free offer? What is this thing that you can help us to do with our video meetings?
So I tried to go through and create as comprehensive a list of the different factors that go into how to be more engaging, more influential in your online meetings and presentations. And I laid them all out in what I call my video blueprint. So if you can go through and check all the boxes in that video blueprint, you're going to end up having a much better presentation. You're going to make a much better impression in the course of it. And this is my gift to your listeners.
So do you want to just read out what it says on the ticker going across the bottom of the screen, so that we've got it for those people who are listening back and haven't at the moment seen it?
Right.
Just take us through what we've got here. It's alfredpoor.com.
Yep.
/
alfredpoor.com/video-meeting-blueprint. So it's video-meeting.blueprint, blueprint. And alfredpoor.com, nice and easy to remember that part.
Yeah, now I encourage you to go to see that, and I will put this in the notes. It's alfredpoor.com/video-meeting-blueprint. Dashes in between the gaps where I pause there. So go down there. This is just a series of tips and tricks that you can use that ensures that you get the very best out of these 75% of the meetings you're currently going to be having online.
Right. Actually, I would say it's more a checklist for you to be intentional about.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't know what you don't know. So this gives you a list of things. Oh, I never thought about that. Should I be wearing stripes when I'm, finely striped clothes when I'm on camera? Probably not. But have you thought about what you're wearing? A lot of people are just go on with whatever they wear. Well, first of all, this is my brand. So, but whenever you see me online in a video setting, it's going to be solid colors. It's going to be in the blues and the grays for me. But that's all by design. It's not by accident. It's intentional.
I think that's a great word you keep coming back to. That's the word, intentional. You have to be intentional with these things, don't you? Alfred, was it this Gartner course, Gartner report, or anything else which really highlighted to you the importance of sort of taking this step? Because I know that you're a really experienced speaker. Is the world of speaking currently really being changed by this world?
Absolutely. I mean, this had its genesis years and years ago. I've been doing virtual for probably 9 years now. I've done, been a speaker at online conferences. I've produced my own online webinars and other events. I've produced, online series of presentations by other speakers. I actually produced a series of online trade shows for consumer electronics companies. So, and this was all pre-pandemic. So, I didn't jump to this because of the pandemic. I already had these skills in my kit bag, as you would. But so when the pandemic hit, I saw these other speakers saying, all my on-site gigs have been canceled. So I started doing workshops for them, showing them some of the key points about what you need to do to transition between online, on-site to online presentations.
Yeah.
And in doing that, it was very, very well received. But in doing that, I realized I had ton more than would fit in a 45-minute presentation. And so the project went through a number of different iterations and now exists as this 75% solution, which is intended to give executives and teams the skills they need, starting wherever they happen to be, with whatever budget and skills and knowledge they have, what they can do to make a better impression. I follow what I call my principle of the 3 I's for making improvements. When you make improvements, and this is beyond just presentations, but that's how I came up with it. You want to make improvements that are incremental. Don't try to do everything at once. You want to make them intentional. There's the intentional again. Don't just accept the default settings. And you want to make them impactful. You want to choose the ones that are going to have the biggest impact. And so when I work with a client, I help them. It's not a course. It's not some series of things that they have to work through. I work with them custom and find the one thing that's going to make the biggest difference for them. And we get that working. And then I find the next thing and the next thing and so forth. And so it's continuous improvement and just gets better and better.
I love it. Alfred, I've asked you questions and you've beautifully answered them, but there must be one question that you're currently thinking, I wish you'd get around to asking, because that's the one that really sort of nails it. So what's the question that you're wishing I could ask? And then obviously, having asked the question, you need to answer it.
Well, I think it is, where's the passion come from for this project?
I like the question. I love the question.
And for me, I've been doing a lot of work with startups, because having worked with technology for as long as I have, I've been very excited to see the new companies coming along, the founders with their great ideas and how they want to solve big problems with them. And the problem is that most of these founders are now having to make their pitches online. And this is life or death for their project if they don't get the funding. And right now, funding is very tough for a lot of technology sectors. If they don't get the funding, that could be the end of the dream. And so, one of the motives behind the 75% solution is to include founders in this. The ones who are just getting started, help them think about the things that they hadn't thought about, and so that they can be more effective when they're talking to funding sources, because again, for them it matters the most.
I love that. Alfred, as ever, it is brilliant to hear your views on things. You have some absolute gems of thoughts, and I love the fact that you bring passion to this, and you bring the passion to help founders and people who really have got to nail this and get it right in order to be able to get their company off the ground. I love the fact that you do that. I'm just going to make an appeal at this point. If you are listening to this on replay, or if you want to join the LinkedIn Live that we do on a regular basis, please would you go to this link, which is a link.thecompleteapproach.co.uk/newsletter. If you go to that URL, you will find a form that you can fill out, get you onto the newsletter list, and then we can keep you informed of who's coming up on these weekly meetings, and join and see the brilliant ideas that come through. There are so many brilliant ideas. Please come on, please join that newsletter list and see brilliant people like Alfred Poor. And I encourage you, go to Alfred Poor's website, alfredpoor.com/video meeting blueprint, and download that blueprint. And make sure that you get a hold of his intentional things that you need to think about for your video meetings in the future. Alfred, I hope that was good, as good a summary as you're going to get from anybody.
The best. And I just want to underscore to the audience that, this is, your interviews are just great. You somehow managed to bring wonderful people, and I'm actually honored to be part of that, and actually having get the opportunity to do it more than once. So
you're very kind. You're very kind.
Very grateful.
Alfred, I look forward to the next time we meet on a video call and chat. But for now, everyone, thank you very much for joining us. I look forward to seeing you again next time on It's Not Rocket Science, 5 Questions Over Coffee.